I put A&M in my top 10. Am I way too early? Top 10 teams in college football? It was way too early, but we got a lot of pushback on that saying, JD, please don't do this. Please don't. We do this every year. Every year y'all put us in the top 10, and every year it comes crashing down. Why do this to us? Why now? First of all, I had A&M at number 20 going into last season, so just so we're all on the same page there. I did not, in fact, have A&M in my preseason top 10. But why do we feel this way? We'll take a look at what was last year and what's going forward here for A&M. But again, this is a exit meeting brought to you by our friends over at Huel. It's a long way till next season. Need your calories. You do. You know, calories are a measurement of energy, and Huel is ready to drink. Essentially, it has all that you need. They're ready to drink Black Edition, high in protein, low in sugar, packed with all the nutrients that your body needs to perform at its best, and to get through this part of the year into spring football, into college football season, and beyond. So use code HARDCOUNT15, 15% off, plus a free gift. Not bad for new customers. HARDCOUNT15, 15% off, plus a free gift over at Huel.com. That's Huel.com. Start the year off strong, unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters. And I said this, what really matters for A&M fans right now is trying to get rid of what has been not so fondly referred to across Texas A&M spaces as battered Aggie syndrome. What that means is just what I said at the open. Every year, you're told how good you're going to be. You're told you can expect good things in the postseason. You're told that you've got a great roster. And then what happens? 7-5, 8-4, whatever. And your feelings are valid. Your feelings are real, but they're not always reliable. I had a pastor that would always say that. Hey, trust your feelings to a certain extent. You're not wrong for how you feel, but also don't make decisions strictly off your feelings. Your feelings are temporary. They're not going to be actually the reality of your situation. And it's kind of like your buddy who is just like giving up dating. It's like, hey, she seems like a nice girl. She seems interested in you. You say, nope, all girls are the same. What? By definition, no, every girl is not the same. No, I've done it. I've tried it too many times. I've tried dating. They're all the same. It always ends up the same way for me. And that's kind of, I think, what A&M's doing right now to some extent when they look at themselves in the mirror and say we're not a top 10 team. Why? Well, because we've tried it before. We've tried to have hope, and it always goes a certain way. Based on what? Well, the last couple of years. Oh, you mean the last couple of years where Mike Elko wasn't the head coach? Like, the thing that I don't understand is when you try to tie a result of a team to a logo or a jersey or a place, like Texas A&M is not snake bitten. You have a new coach. And when you have a new coach, you have a new DNA. And a new DNA, I think, should translate to new results. Like, you think about what A&M's been in the past. Yeah, it's unfortunately underachieved. I hate it. You hate it. We all hate it. But, like, Mike Elko wasn't the head coach for that. Marcel Reed wasn't the coach for that. Le'Veon Moss wasn't toting the rock for that. Colin Klein wasn't the OC for that. So you see where I'm going. Like, there's a bunch of new circumstances here. And I get why you feel the way that you feel. But you look at what this team is, look at what this roster is. Look at the future of A&M football. I think the future's pretty gosh darn bright, man. I think there's a lot to be excited about. Like, when you look at the narrative around A&M saying, well, we always get our hopes up, the media always props us up, and then we fall flat on our face. It's embarrassing. You know who else they said that about for a long time? You're going to hate this comp? Texas. What changed? They hired the right guy. They hired a guy who got what the school was, got what the job was. Well, Texas is, I hate to say it if you're an Aggie fan, but last 2 years, college football playoff attendee. Okay? So Mike Elko, again, wasn't the head coach for that. And going back to what I said about DNA, you underachieved the last couple of years, and not to throw shade at Jimbo Fisher, because I think there's a lot more to his situation than just Jimbo Fisher being at fault, but you are the head coach. Like, Jimbo Fisher semi-consistently underachieved at A&M. You have a coach whose DNA and Mike Elko, all he's done is overachieve his whole life. Got a job at Duke, and they were 3-9 when he took the job. What happens the next year? Turn that around, win 9 football games. Okay, yeah. 8 plus a bowl win, that'll work. Overachieving. Did more with less. At a school in Duke who, no shade to Duke, but like, they're a basketball school. I love them. Riley Leonard, I love him in general too, and what he is as a quarterback. But like, this is a 3-star guy out of high school. So when you look to the future for A&M, yeah, there's the same talking points of Sure, they're a talented team. Sure, the roster is there, all that. But again, to have a guy in Mike Elko who specializes in what I said when he got hired was the things that A&M needed, structure, toughness, that buzzword culture, all those things, that's what he majors in. You pair that with talent, you're going to be in good shape. You look at the schedule, like where is the game where you just chalk up a loss for A&M? Where are they just totally outmatched? Okay, you look at the game against Notre Dame. Got to go to Notre Dame, playoff team last year, lost them in College Station. Riley Leonard's not running out the tunnel for the Irish. It's going to be a new quarterback. You're the one bringing back the quarterback. You're the one who should have a pretty good amount of experience. Okay, you play Auburn. Tough loss last year in overtime, and Jordan Hare. They got to come to you this year. Worth noting. Florida, be a tough game. Get them in Kyle Field. South Carolina, brutal loss. Get them at home. At LSU, won that game a year ago. And you got to go to Death Valley, but like won it a year ago. Won it last year in Kyle Field. So I'm just looking up and down all of the things that are ahead of A&M in the game at Texas. I mean, Texas, look at the score, it was a 10-point game. I don't think it's something you have to just mark up as a loss. And I don't think anybody in College Station is doing that by any stretch of the imagination. They have a new quarterback too. So, like, all these things that I look at in retrospect from last year to this year for Texas A&M, sure, the South Carolina game sucks, but there's no reason you have to lose it again. There's nothing that says that you can't take a step forward. So the makings of Texas A&M plus the roster, or plus the schedule, I should say, get me really excited. Returning quarterback, returning OC. The defense loses some production. Here's what I would say about that. As long as Mike Elko is your head coach, I have confidence in the defense. JD, you're just giving us blind confidence. There's no real take there. Well, you got Torian York back, captain of the defense. That's one thing. But the other part is coaches who have a side of the ball that they have specialized in across their career usually have a way of making that side of the ball personal to them and making sure that if nothing else, that part of their house is in good shape. If nothing else, Mike Elko, I promise, will make sure the defense is dialed in. You look at what he was saying after the Las Vegas Bowl where they lose to USC. They say, what are you excited about for next year? He goes, that I never have to watch that defense again. Forget what the offense wasn't doing in that game. He was upset about the defense. And the way the game went, it's hard to blame him. But you could tell it's personal to him. It's personal to him. This job is personal to him. And if you're an A&M fan, I think that when you look across the landscape, there's a lot of cause for optimism, a lot of cause for excitement. And so if you're tired of being on the ride, Aggie fans, I don't blame you. But hey, buckle up because we're going on this ride one more time in 2025. And I think this is going to be a different one this time around. So we'll enjoy the heck out of it.